Today's Toy Spot, we are having a look at the brand new Mattel WWE Retro Figures Brock Lesnar. The Beast Incarnate is represented here in a slightly retro-released line of figures. These figures were originally released way back when. I want to say like late 80s, early 90s. I'm trying to even think I collected these when I was in grade 6, trying to do the math, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so a while ago. Brock Lesnar, as well as the other 3 figures that Spot has picked up, all were from the current roster, but they have also released or will be releasing an Ultimate Warrior and Undertaker, which I don't think are actually out just yet. He is recommended for ages 6 and up. I suppose the only downside to the packaging is, one, because it's cardboard, it's very susceptible to curling. Like, as you can see, the corners are kind of frayed. I found these at Walmart. Also, one of the things that is very apparent, theft on these. I mean, there's really not much keeping the bubble. It's kind of really like the old G.I. Joes and stuff, or Star Wars. You really, you know, these can just easily rip off. Not that we want to be talking about theft, but just certainly from a standpoint, they're very easy to take off the card. I also wish, and I might do it, I might go back and pick up more of these, like another one of every figure, and keep these sealed. You know, maybe we get more of these. Maybe the line expands as the line hopefully does well. But I'd love to maybe keep a couple of these sealed and like put them up on my wall. I might do that actually. Fairly easy now to find here in Canada. I thought actually I was going to have to order these and get these online, but sure enough, Walmart had these. On the right side here is Brock Lesnar. For the wrestling fans, recognize him. Non-wrestling fans would be like, oh, that's that guy from UFC. Yeah, Brock Lesnar. Back of the package. Take a trip to Suplex City, as I guess his signature gimmick of choice. In this case, you move his arms up and then release his arms and experience F5 action. Which I guess is not really technically how the F5 would work, but okay, we'll go with that. Other figures down below. Now, at the time that I found these, the only ones that were at Walmart were Brock Lesnar, Kevin Owens, John Cena, Roman Reigns. The only ones that weren't there were Ultimate Warrior and Undertaker, and I don't feel as if they weren't there because they were the first to be grabbed, because they had a fairly sufficient stock of the 4 figures. I'm wondering if that Ultimate Warrior and Undertaker maybe weren't released just yet. I don't know. I'm not certain yet. Check out more from the folks over at Mattel by heading over to www.mattel.com. Without further ado, Spot's going to take a break. Yeah, we're going to take a break, get these opened up, and when we come back, we're going to get a better look at the brand new Mattel WWE Retro Figures Brock Lesnar. There's more heading your way, guys. Don't go anywhere. Now that we have Brock Lesnar out of packaging, let's get a better look at these figures. Now, they may not be for everyone collecting WWE figures. I think, although these work very well with kids, I think really where the appeal is going to come, from my own standpoint at least, are the collectors around my age that would have grown up with the original Mattel, well, not Mattel, but the original figure releases of these back in the day. And if you watched my review of the John Cena, you know very well Spot has had a history of picking these up in the past, kind of hiding, kind of ducking around Toys R Us trying to pick these up, because I saw my friends there and I felt a little embarrassed at the time that I was picking up toys, because I think I was in I think it was 11 or 12 when these came out, and I wanted to get them, but I felt like my friends would think, you're not really cool. Why are you picking up toys? Nowadays, it doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me at all. Brock Lesnar, though, looks very cool. He's got his black trunks, no brands or anything on his trunks, just a basic black trunk. He does have the Lesnar horned skull logo there on his trunks there. And of course he's got a cavalcade of tattoos. The tattoo I'm never really a big fan of is the front brass knucks knife that he's got tattooed on the front of his chest. I'm not sure why he would have chose that. Probably one of those late nights, hey, that seems cool. I don't really like it. But anyways, he's got his skull on his arm, the one shoulder area there, another tattoo on the other side, and the more classic horned demon skull featured on the back there. Pretty much all the coloring on him is just black. Black gloves, black trunks, black boots. His face, as you can hopefully see there, I think does a fair job looking like Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar. Kind of sounds more like Vince McMahon. Okay, so like posability, let's run through that together. Posability. His head does rotate. I guess technically all the way around. I don't think Brock would enjoy that, but you can rotate his head all the way around. He has a waist swivel. I don't know why my camera... Hey, thanks, camera. Waist swivel rotates all the way around. And then for his gimmick. Okay, his gimmick... And if you've collected these figures before, if you've had superpowers figures, it's essentially the same thing. One figure has a different gimmick than other figures. So, for example, John Cena. John Cena, if you remember in the video review, he has the little tilt portion. So you can put his arms up, for example. Put Brock Lesnar. I mean, this is feasible, technically. I mean, Cena's a pretty strong guy. I don't know how we can get it on. I guess we can do it like that. And you can tilt his torso somewhat into an attitude adjustment pose and flip. You can flip Lesnar over. That makes actually fair sense. That's a good, fairly accurate gimmick for John Cena. Lesnar, on the other hand, slightly perplexing. His gimmick is that he's got the F5. So what you do is you raise his arms up and you put your figure on here. Let's see. I guess F5, he kind of would still be facing down, technically. And then you let go of the arms and he flips him forward. And actually flips him forward right onto the floor. Flips him forward and gives him the F5. The thing is, though, it doesn't really read too much like an F5. It actually kind of just reads more like he's giving him just a slam. I think, if anything, what they should have done is had it where you could move his arms up, just like a regular posability. Move his arms up and then rotate his waist. Like his waist would have been, like a spring or something. So you could have gone like this and let it go, and you could have spun him or spun the wrestler on top more like what an F5 would be. F5 doesn't really go like this. It's more something that you put the guy on his shoulders and he spins him and basically falls down next to him. So even though the gimmick doesn't really seem like something that would work for Brock Lesnar, I mean, this basically is just like a gorilla press slam. Like just something you would pick up a guy who just throws him down. Other than the little nitpick, I mean, that's just really as a wrestling fan saying, oh, it doesn't work. But you know what? I do like the figures. I really, really like these, actually. Fairly affordable as well. These, I think, are only about $10 a piece. If you are a fan of the original, not quite the original rubber figures from the 80s, but if you're a fan of the figures that came afterwards, like these little small miniature scale gimmick figures that had a little gimmick action feature to them, I think you definitely would want to pick these up. Maybe this is a resurgence of like the old collectibles that I used to have as a kid. You never know, we might even get thumb wrestlers. Oh boy, now I would be picking those up in a heartbeat. In the meantime though, today's Toy Spot, we're continuing our looks at the new Mattel WWE Retro figures, and this was Retro Figure Brock Lesnar. Stay tuned, guys. Spot's going to have more Toy Spots heading your way, and we're going to look at a couple more of these guys as well, so stay tuned for those videos. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.